Hi there, welcome to this tutorial on handling missing values in Stata. In this video, we cover two methods of handling missing values, and that is mean imputation and multiple imputation. Let us get started. So let us assume you have the data, you have accessed some data from a website, from an organization, from maybe a questionnaire, and you have the data at hand. And your main objective at the end of the day is to carry out some data analysis. But you realize in the process that kind of data that you have accessed has some missing information, like you are missing some information in your data. So you get stranded in the way, like, what am I supposed to do? Do I have to delete these missing values? Do I have to ignore them? Or do I have to look some advanced method on how to handle this or how to fix these missing values? Now in this video, so if you have such kind of if you have faced or you have such kind of challenges, then this video is for you, so you don't need to worry no more. Now what you need to do is just have the data, import the data to Stata, and now follow the step that I'm going to show you in the next few minutes. But if you are new to this channel, kindly consider to subscribe. Thank you. Now let us start with the first step. Now we have to import the data. So in this case, I'm going to use a banner data ZSV. Actually, this is a public data from cargo.com. So I'm going to attach the link in the description below so that you can be able to have it. And also, I will share this do file so that you can be able to do it from your end as well. But if you have any question, you can just reach me directly via my email through the comment section. Now this is the data, so I'll just import this data and I open this is the data. Sorry, this is how the data looks like. Now the data has 6 columns or variables and 90 observations, so you can be able to see. But if you look at this data, you realize at some point you realize there are some dots. Do you see this? Like we have dots here and there. So this is what you go now, the missing value. So for Stata, it identifies the missing values using a dot. Unlike to other softwares, if you have used some software like R identifies the missing values using NA. But this one for Stata, it identifies them using a dot. So that's something that you need to know. Now, so in this data, we have missing information and non-missing information or values. So like in this data, like the one that I've highlighted here, now this is what we call non-missing values, because they are there, they are not missing, so we call them non-missing values. And now the scenario in this case where we don't have any value, we call this as missing value. Good. So if you have understood that, now let us move go direct to what we are supposed to do. So we are going to start with the first method, what we call mean imputation. But before that, we need to identify whether this data really has missing values. So in that case, I normally use we use this what we call mdesk command. So we just highlight that and execute. But if you have not, sometimes this you have to install this package. If you have not installed the package, now you will find an error by like this command is unrecognized, so it's not there in the is not there in your machine. So you have to install it first. So to install it, just remove this static here and run and execute this so that you can be able to install that. So after installing that, now you'll be able to execute this command just like this. And now you realize now from my sort window, I can be able to access the data. So this command gives me a table with all the variables listed, the missing, total, and the percentage of missing. So you realize the first two variables has no missing values, and the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, now we have the missing value. Like the second one, which is the target value, as you can see from here, the target value has 22 missing values. Now the next one, which is output, as 16, fuel price as 13, and road factors as what, as 13 as well. and you can also see the percentage. The first one is 24.4%, 17.8%, 14.4%, 14.4%. Again, this is nice. So you can realize now from here, we have what? From here, it's true that we have missing values in our data. Sorry, yeah, that's the first step. Now let us dive into direct to what you call mean imputation. Mean imputation. So how does it work? Now this method, mean imputation. Sorry. Now this method, it involves replacing missing values with the mean value of non-missing values for that variable. So we are replacing the missing information with the mean of non-missing information. So what do I mean by this? So if you look at this data, I had explained earlier, like if you look at this, let us say the road factor, we have all this is what we call non-missing information. So because we have the information already in there. But if you move to this one, now this is what we call missing information. So when we use mean imputation, it means that we are replacing this missing information using the mean from non-missing information or non-missing values. So that's what we mean by this method, simply by this method. So how do we do it? Practical? So what we do is this. Now, we go direct to this. So normally you start with the first one, which is actually I can do this. Let me do this. Let me do like this. So let me so we have the variables. Yeah. Now good. Now this is the variables we have from the data, so I wanted to copy this, and now let us copy them here so that I can be easily access them. Now these are my variables from the data. Variables. So these are the variables that we have. Now we start with actually the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. So that's the one that have the missing value. So this is how we do when you use the main option. So we start with generate. So again, a command. Now we start with the first one, which is actually C. We can call it C underscore mean. We can call it like that. Then it's equals to mean of what? Of the name itself. Now the name is C. The variable name is C. It's identified, that target variable is identified by C. Now, just like that, then we close. So it means at this point, we are going to create a new variable by the name C underscore mean. And that column will contain the mean of C, the already existing variable. So if I highlight this, and execute, and now if I check our data, you realize we have a new column by the name C underscore mean, and in this column now it has a mean of the existing variable, which is C. That's what we mean. So we are going to create that variable for the other variable as well. Now after that, now we have to replace now C. Now we are replacing the existing variable with the missing information. Now this C is actually the target variable, so it's identified from the data. So I think so that you can be able to understand what I mean when I say C. So desk, can use that. So this is what I mean. So this is the variable name, and this is the variable description. So like the first I is what you call airline firm identified by a number. Now this is actually what you go to the ID, T is the year, C target value or total cost in and so on, and you can be able to see all of this. Now let me go back to my do file again. Let me go back to my do file. So here's my do file. So now I'm replacing C. Replace C is equals to Now the mean, so C is being replaced by C underscore mean, C underscore mean, C underscore mean if missing in C. Now new variable C. So I'll be able to do that. I write and execute. Great. So if I go to my data now, you realize now for this C, this variable C now, it's no longer have any missing values. So those missing values have been replaced by the mean. So if you check like this, actually this is here. So all those missing values have been replaced by the mean of non-missing values. And that is how this method works. This method works just like that. So let us move to the next one. So that's a variable one. Now I can just to save time, you can copy this, copy, Control V, Control V, Control V. So we have the second one is Q. So whenever we have C, let us replace with Q, Q, then Q. The third one is price, for price. So we call this as the BF. So replace anywhere wherever we have C with BF, BF, and the BF, and the BF. Now the last one is loading factor, LF. So LF, LF. So we have LF. Good. So I write execute this. I write and execute. And if I go to my data now, you realize we have new columns have been added for the 4 variables, and you realize now our data has no missing values. So how do we identify, how do we know that? So what we do is this. So to check whether now the data is has no any missing values, first let us drop this. We can drop the new variables that we have just created. We no need of them. So now drop. So we are going to drop C underscore mean, then drop Q underscore mean, then the other one is drop Q BF underscore mean, then the last one drop LF underscore mean. So you can do this separately. You can list them, or you can just use a drop as one command, and you list them the variables without using any just using a space. So after that, I can just execute like this, and I'll be able to see now from my data. The data now has the variables that were there, and now I think we have fixed this problem. So how do you know that you have fixed it? Just go back to your do file and confirm this. So use now this is it. Now just ask, does the data have I fixed the problem? Have I fixed the problem? What we need to know this. Have I fixed this problem? Now to do that, just use mdesk again. Just use mdesk. Oh, before that, actually I'm going to now save the data. Now I'm going to save this data as save grind data. I'm going to go to that data like that. So I save this data. Then now my new data that I use for analysis now is now this use grind underscore data. So clear. So create is being used to create the previous memory so it's good you have it. So I like that, and I browse. Perfect. So I'll use mdesk again, just like that, and here it is. So you can see now our clean data. We have 0 missing values. We have total observation of 90. Percentage missing is 0, 0. So it means up to this point, we have fixed or we have handled the missing value in this panel data using mean imputation. And this is how mean imputation works. Now, what do you discover from this? Like what are your remarks from this method? Number one, what I can say from this method is, unlike to multiple imputation, mean imputation does not add any new observations. It maintains the number of observations. And another thing that we have discovered from this is that the missing values are being replaced by the mean of non-missing values, which is what I've just illustrated to you. So you have seen this up to this point. This is how these missing values works. I mean the mean imputation. This is how it fixes the missing value. I hope up to this point you have learned something new. So in my next video, I'm going to use the same data, but now I'm going to use multiple imputation. I know I have previous videos on multiple imputation using logit model, but in this case I'm going to use ORS, or ordinary least square regression method. So in my next video, I use now multiple imputation. It will be a continuation of this video. So please, you take your time. After this video, you watch the next video, which will also a continuation of this, and so that you can be able to understand fully how these two methods works. Thank you for your time. See you next time. Thank you.